Hey y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Jennifer with True to You Yoga, and we are going to be doing a flow that leads up to some balancing poses. Balance isn't just here on your yoga mat, but also throughout your work and family life, making sure you balance your time between not just being all at work or all at home, but to find that, perfect spot for it. While you're going through your practice, you might want to kind of think a little bit about how you could balance that time a little bit more. Let that be your intention, possibly, of finding that balance. So today, let's go ahead and let's get started on our backs in Shavasana. So just lay on down on your mat. Try to get comfy. Take your shoulder blades, and you might need to lift your upper back up just a little bit and glide them down your back. Your head is neutral, your palms are facing towards the ceiling, and your feet are flopped open just a little bit. If it's more comfortable for you right now, you can go ahead and bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor, whichever one works best for you. Listen to your body for the day throughout everything that we're doing. Let's just kind of tune into our breath. Try to relax and sink into the floor. Breathe in and out your nose. Let's tap into your deep yogic breath. So inhale through your nose, filling up all the way from your pelvic floor, up throughout your abdomen, into your diaphragm, up through your lungs and into your collarbone. And then exhale through your nose and push all that air out. Give your belly a good little squeeze to get that last little bit out. Lengthen your breaths as much as you can, your inhales and your exhales. Take a little pause at the top of your breath and at your bottom. One more breath and just sigh it out your mouth with a HA. Okay, so let's begin our practice by basically think about if you are standing in mountain pose. And remember, mountain is at the top of your mat. So flex your feet, have your toes pointed towards the ceiling. Engage your quads and your hamstrings. Lengthen your tailbone. Engage all throughout your abdomen and on up into your upper back and your arms as you're gently pressing them into the floor with your palms facing up. From here, take your right foot, lift it up just a little bit, and start gliding that toe up your lower leg, up to your knee, then up to your upper thigh as much as you can. And then take your hands and just wrap them around that knee. Go ahead and flex your foot again as you hug that knee into your chest. Let's take a few breaths here. Think about your hips and make sure they're staying aligned and not tilting one way or the other. We have a tendency to get them off balance. Go ahead and you can point that toe again and gently reverse that direction of your toe, tracing a line nice and slow down your left leg until it is lengthened out. And then let's switch sides. So your right foot is flexed up to the ceiling. Your left foot, go ahead and pick that leg up, point those toes, and slowly glide them up your right leg, past your lower leg, your knee, to your upper leg. And then go ahead and reach in. Reach those hands up, wrap them around. They can be below your knee or on the back of your thigh, whatever is most comfortable. Flex that toe. Take a few deep breaths here now. Place your hands back on the floor, point your toe, and reverse the direction. So that left foot's going to glide down your right leg. Engage your abs to keep this a nice, slow movement. Extend your leg all the way, and foot on the floor. Go ahead and roll over onto your side and push yourself up in whatever way is most comfortable for you. And we're going to go into cat and cow. So in cat and cow, you can use a cushion if you want. Today we'll kind of work with the cushion and go onto your hands and knees that way. Just sink down into it. Your shoulders are going to be directly over your wrists and your knees right underneath of your hips. Flex your feet and put those toes on the floor. Inhale, and you're going to drop your belly to the ground and lift your head and your chest forward, just like there's a string pulling you towards your side wall. And exhale, let's round our back into that scared cat position. Drop your tailbone towards the floor and really arch up into your belly and through your chest. Inhale, let's go back into your cow position. Dropping that belly, lengthening all through your spine. Work to not crane your head up. We don't need to look at the ceiling. And then exhale, rounding your back again. Deep breath. Engage all throughout your abdomen. And let's go back to table. From table, let's go ahead and plant our feet. And we're going to push our bottom up towards the corner behind you in your wall. Gripping down with your hands into down dog. Keep your knees nice and bent during this. And then push your head and your chest towards your thighs. If you need to stay in a modified version, go ahead and make it more like a child's pose with your knees on your cushion. And then whenever you have a little bit more strength, you can just continually, gradually work your way up. Deep breath in. Let's lower down and go ahead and move your cushion out of the way if you're using it. And then place your hands on the floor. Lift your bottom back up towards the ceiling and just gently tiptoe walk your way to the top of your mat. Have your feet parallel to each other and just let your upper body just drape down towards the floor. Rock your weight forward more into your toes so then you can work to line up your heels right underneath your hips. So let your head hang towards the floor. Shake it out a little bit. Get rid of all those worries and concerns. Inhale, half lift. So glide your hands up your shins until your back is flat. Lengthen it out, all of your spine. You can get kind of a little mini arch in your upper back. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Inhale, swan dive, reverse up. Hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, let's place our hands on our hips. We're going to do a few hip circles. You might feel a little funny doing these at first, but that's okay. So just take your hips. We're going to take them around in a circle, hit all the sides. We're just loosening up those hips. Take about 3 circles one way, and then 3 circles the other way. Take it nice and slow. Engage your muscles as you're doing them throughout your abs and your back. From here, go ahead and shake it out a little bit if you need to. And let's take our left foot and we're going to step it back into a high lunge. So your right knee is going to be over your right ankle. Bend your left knee and just drop your tailbone towards the floor. And then you can check your hips and make sure they're pretty much lined up towards the front of your mat. Keep in mind, though, that everybody's hips are a little bit different, so you might have a little bit more of a turnout in one place or another. Bring your hands to heart center into your prayer position. If you're able, you can kind of start to straighten out that back leg. but make sure you keep your tailbone dropped to the floor. Deep breath in here. Exhale. And then let's slowly lean forward a little bit and just step forward with our left foot to the top of our mat. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Go ahead and put your hands on your hips and let's do a couple more of those hip circles to your right. And then hip circles to our left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then kind of drop your bottom back like you're going to set into a chair. Your feet are parallel with each other. Engage your quads and think about spinning. So your outer hips are spinning towards the front of the room. Your inner legs are kind of like energetically squeezing together. You can keep your hands here at heart center, or you can place them on your hips. You should be engaging all throughout your hamstrings and your bottom. Your abs are engaged and your back is lengthened out. Long line of energy to the top of your head. And then inhale, stand up straight, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, and let's step our right foot back for our high lunge. Again, your left knee is over your left ankle, and then bend your right knee just a little bit. Drop that tailbone to the floor. Think about it as if there's a weight on there, hoping to pull it down. If you want, you can kind of start to straighten out that back leg, but make sure you keep your tailbone dropped towards the floor. Deep breath here. And just sigh it out. Your next exhale, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's sit back for that chair pose again. You might be really wanting a chair back there, but it is not there. You might feel a little shaky shake in your legs, and that is normal. Remember to lengthen out through your back and keep your neck in line with your spine so you're not craning it all around. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to take a modified version of a sun salutation now. So let's inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And go ahead and just draw that line all the way down to the floor and drop your head down towards the ground. If you have some blocks and you want to use them right in front of you to place your hands on, feel free. That's an option for you. Let's inhale, lengthen our back. Exhale, head towards the ground as much as you can. Then rock that weight forward into your toes a little bit. Take your left foot, step it back and then your right, so then you're kind of in a table position. And then we're going to drop our bottom towards our heels, so we're into child's pose. Just relax down between your knees, sinking into the floor. Deep breath out. Another inhale and exhale. Relax. Your hands can stay on your blocks. They can be on the floor. If it's bothering your knees, you can always take that cushion that we used at the beginning and place it under your knees as well. It's always a nice option just to change things up a little bit. Next inhale. Let's go ahead and come back up into table pose. If you don't have your knees on your cushion and you want to go ahead and grab it now for this, because we're going to be in table for a little bit, feel free. You can always use a blanket. I'll sometimes use a blanket, sometimes use a cushion just to change it up. Take your right leg, extend it behind you, and make sure you drop your hips so they are, if I put like a cup of water on your back, it would stay there and wouldn't be tilting off to the side. Inhale, and if you can, start to lift that right foot off the ground. So then it's extended straight back from your hip. Your head is in line with your spine. Abs are engaged. And you're getting a little bit of balance here. Gently lower that foot. Bring that knee underneath of you into your table. And now let's do the other side. So your left foot is going to extend backwards. Flex that foot. Inhale and lift it up to the sky just so it is straight out from your hip. Check your hips and make sure they're dropped down so I can balance that water on your back. Gaze is towards the mat. Fingers are gripping the mat, suctioning up through the hands. Abs engaged. And exhale, lower that foot back into table pose. From here, let's go ahead and sink back into your child's pose again. You can keep your knees on your cushion if you want, or you can go ahead and remove it. Take a couple deep breaths here, just to relax before we go up to our balancing positions. Inhale, let's go into table. We're going to step our right foot in between our hands, and then step our left foot up to the top of the mat as well into our forward fold. Check your feet, make sure they're parallel to each other. Again, release all those worries and cares at the top of your head. You can kind of shake it out a little bit. You can grab the opposite elbow and ragdoll it. Inhale, let's lift up into a flat back. Exhale, lower down and inhale. Sweep your arms up overhead and exhale, hands at heart center. From here, let's go ahead and kind of step into the middle of your mat. We're going to go into mountain pose. Think about gripping the floor with all three portions of your feet. So the big toe, little toe, and your heel, and then suctioning that mat up through the soles of your feet. Engage your legs. Lift those kneecaps and have a slight bend in your knee. Drop your tailbone. Engage your abs. If you tighten everything up through your core, it's going to help with your balance. Slowly start to lean your weight into your left foot. And then gently, like we did at the very beginning of class, you can start to draw your right foot up your left leg. Only take it as high as your balance will allow you. And that could be with your toes at your shin, could be at your knee. Your foot is just beside it, though you're not putting any pressure on it. Or you can draw it all the way up to your chest and flex your foot. When you're in this position, go ahead and remember to keep gripping the floor. It's okay if you fall out. And then work to keep your hips kind of facing forward and in line so you're not tilted one way or the other. Go ahead and we'll release that foot slowly back down to the floor. You can give it a little shake, shake, shake. So I know it can be a little tiring on your standing leg. I'll face you for the next one. So grip your right toes into the floor. Sink down and grip that heel into the floor. Suction the mat up in your right leg. Lengthen up on out of it. So there's that line of energy from the floor all the way out the top of your head. Slowly start to tilt your weight into that right leg and take your left foot gently off the ground and then slowly start to draw it up your right leg. You can always use a chair or a wall for balance as you're getting started. And if you want, you could also place your block underneath of your left foot and just step gently on it so your toes are just resting lightly. And continue to draw it up to where it's most comfortable for you. And go ahead and flex your foot. Keep that hip pulled in because we're not trying to carry our babies on our sides or anything. Go ahead and tuck it in. Nice and tight. Engage those abs to help with your balance. And then go ahead and gently, slowly lower it back down to the floor. If you have a block, go ahead and move it out of the way. And then you can just kind of shake it out again. Let's come to just standing in the middle of our mat yet. Let's inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then just draw that line all the way down to the floor. into your forward fold. Relax your back so it can start to lengthen out. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands towards the floor. Step your right foot back and kneel down on your right knee, and then bring your left knee down as well. Go ahead and we're going to swing our legs around, however it's comfortable for you, and bring them right out in front. Again, if you want to use your cushion for this, you can, and your blanket. You can mix it up. Some days use one, some days use another. Legs out in front of you. If you have the cushion, you might want a bolster as well, kind of underneath those knees so you don't hyperextend them. Flex your feet. Engage all the way through your legs, your tailbone. Point it straight down towards the floor, and then lift all the way up through your spine, lengthening it, and that energy coming out the crown of your head, and your gaze is forward. Let's just have our arms up overhead and take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Takes a lot of strength to stay in this position. Gently lower your arms towards the floor. We're going to take our right leg, bend our knee, so then our foot is flat on the floor. Recall, this is kind of like the standing wind pose we did, except we're seated this time. When you're ready, slowly start to tip your upper body forward. You're going to feel a stretch in your left leg and your hamstring and on down through your calf. Keep that length in your spine. Think chest and belly towards your leg and not your head towards your knee. So you kind of got to dip your chin. I usually have to consciously think about it. Once I get into the position, think, oh, let's dip my chin now. Your next exhale, sit straight back up and extend your right leg. Let's bend our left knee now, foot on the floor, and let's do the same thing on this side. Big inhale, exhale, and slowly start kind of coming forwards, keeping that length in your spine. Again, belly and chest towards your upper leg and not your head towards your knee. As you're here, take that little dip of your chin to help lengthen out through the back of your neck. Continue to engage all through your core. That'll help keep your length. Next exhale, you can go ahead and walk your hands back up to sitting. From here, if you have your bolsters and things, let's go ahead and move those out from under us. And gently roll back so you're going to be laying flat on the floor. You can do it with your hands up and gently roll back. Put your hands on the floor. However is easiest for you to go ahead and roll down flat on your back. Lengthen your legs out to that mountain pose like we did at the beginning of class. Lengthen your tailbone, flex your feet, drop your shoulder blades down your back, gently press into the floor with your upper arms. Engage your abs, just as if we were doing a mountain pose. Take your right foot, lift it up again, and we're going to do what we did at the beginning of class and gently draw those right toes up your lower leg to your knee, up into your upper leg on the inner side, whatever is highest is most comfortable for you. You can bring it all the way up and clasp your knee into your chest. That's great. And if it's down lower, that's great as well. You got to listen to your body. Your next inhale, take your left hand, place it on the outside of your right knee, and then draw your right knee across your chest, across your center line, and over towards your left side. If you want, you can place a cushion under that right knee. whatever is comfortable for you today. Take your right arm and reach it up towards the right corner of your room. And you're probably going to feel a nice stretch down throughout your underarm into your side. You'll more than likely be feeling this twist throughout your lower back as well. Work to keep your upper back on the floor. Inhale, and let's go ahead and bring that back across your center line. You can give your leg a little squeeze again if you want. And then slowly draw that line back down your left leg. Take it nice and slow, engaging your abs till your foot is lengthened, till your legs all the way lengthened out. Gently set it on the floor. Do your mountain pose again, pressing into the floor with your upper back, engaging all the muscles in your body. Deep breath in. Exhale. You can sigh it out this time. And now let's do the other side. So take your left leg, raise it up just a little bit, and then gently draw that line up the inner side of your right leg, nice and slow. Engage those abs as you come along that leg. And once it is to the position that's comfortable for you, you can grab a hold of it. It could be underneath of your knee, or it could be the back of your hamstring, wherever you can reach today. Keep that breath going. Nice long inhales and exhales. Next inhale, take your right hand, place it on the outside of your left knee, and draw that knee across the center line and all the way over towards the side. Keeping your upper body, your upper back on the floor, and then you can extend that left arm towards that corner of your room. Continue your breathing. Next inhale, let's go ahead and draw that knee back across your center line. Give your knee another hug if you want. And then take your foot and draw it down inside of your right leg, nice and slow, engaging those abs. Take as long as you possibly can. Lengthen it all that way out. Put your left foot on the floor. I'm going to do our mountain on the floor one more time. Flex those feet, get those toes pointed straight up to the sky. Engage all the way through your legs. Lengthen your tailbone towards the top of your mat. Engage your abs. Engage your upper back. Tuck those shoulder blades down. Push into the floor with your upper arms. Your neck is lengthened. Let's take a big inhale. Biggest one of the day. Suck in a little bit more air. And then exhale everything out at once. And relax your body down. Let the floor just support you. Sink into it. Slow your breathing down. Just a relaxed, normal breath for you. You worked on some balancing today with your standing wind pose. Think about how you can take that balancing again into your work-family time. So maybe it's not bringing your work home with you, turning off your cell phone, not checking your emails at night, but to be completely present with your family while you're there. Life is short. I'm sure you've heard it before, but really on your tombstone, do you want it to read that she was a great employee, or do you want it to read that she was a great friend and mother and spouse, and that she spent plenty of time with her family and friends enjoying life. Just gently close your eyes if you're comfortable. Let's take a few more deep breaths. Relax your face. On your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. Nice big morning stretch. Exhale, and let's roll over onto our right side. You can prop your head on your right arm, and your left hand is in front of you, just supporting your body. Think about all you did today. Your next exhale, go ahead and slowly push yourself up to seated. You're going to go into an easy seat, which is just your cross-legged position. Nice and tall, dropping your tailbone towards the floor, rooting it down, and lengthening up through your spine and the energy out the top of your head. You can place your hands on your knees, or you can flip your palms so they are face up towards the sky. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Through that nose. Then inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, palms together as you draw those hands down the center line into prayer position. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can drop some comments below. I'd love it if you would like or subscribe. It really helps out knowing what it is you all are looking for, and it helps with my ratings and the algorithm on YouTube. Thank you all so much for joining me today. May you always stay true in your intentions, true to your heart's desire, and speak loving truth to those around you. Love ya.